Well, I've got kind of an odd piece here. I've had it kicking around for a long time. I'm pretty sure it's a piece of oak that came off the tree that we had cut down in 2012. It was kind of getting in the way and it was lifting a corner of the driveway up. So we had it taken down. I saved this piece. I'm not sure why. It's been kicking around here a long time. I'm going to get it mounted up on that hole right there on the worm screw. And I'm not sure what we're going to make. I kind of have an idea. I don't even know if it's going to work. So let's get it mounted up and we'll see if we can make something out of this. Alright, you can see I've got it on the worm screw. It runs pretty nice, about 625 RPM. I put some of the brown Starbond right in this area here. Bark's on pretty good there, a little loose here. I'm going to start down at this end just to try to get some material out of there. Because all I have is 2 flat spots and I'd like to take as much of this as I can off, and then we'll move up here to try to keep the bark on. Here, that bark is loose. I did lose a piece of bark here and I tried to CA it back on. I'll wait till we're through. If there's enough left on there, I'll save all the other pieces and we'll do something. I have to make this round and I don't even think I want to. What the heck? There's somebody still living in here. He didn't pay any rent. Oh boy. Been in there a long time. Shoot. I'd have to bring it in the house and cook it. Okay, that's going to be kind of cool looking. Now, do I want to turn it enough to get rid of this missing bark? They won't be turning much up on the top anyways. I think I'll take a little bit more off of that. I say we go up right to there. That might get rid of this. And we'll just doctor that up later. Okay, and yep. Well, I'm kind of liking the shape I have here, so I think I'll mark for a tenon. And we'll get that created, and I guess I'll just sand this up because I kind of like to keep those ends about that big. I'm going to switch to my 1/2-inch bowl gouge here. Cut that tenon on there. Square it up here. There we go. Got a nice flat spot for the jaws to fit against. Now, I could turn those worm trails away or just leave them, and I think I'll just leave them. There's not a lot to sand here, but I'll go ahead and get set up and do that. And I'll probably put the finish on later because I can't promise you it's not going to fall apart when I turn this top. And I'm going to start out by sanding without the lathe spinning so I can get these ends. And I'll start with 80 grit, and then we can do this part under power. And we'll be going in reverse at about 350. Flipped around, it actually runs pretty nice, and kind of looking at what I can do here, pretty sure that I could make a bowl shape that big, and then perhaps after that's done I come out here and I could slope these ends into it, make it look bigger. We'll see. I'm going to start with a 1/2-inch bowl gouge just because it wouldn't be quite as aggressive on this bark that's ready to fall off. A little bit faster, about 690, almost 700. I figured that would fall off. And the rest of it probably will, but we're going to try to keep it on. So there's that little opening I was looking at. I don't think the tailstock is really going to help me here. I'm going to move it back and we'll just start cutting and see what we end up with. Okay, I had to finish it up with this little carbide hollowing tool. It's a little hard on my shoulder in this hard oak, but I think we pretty much have it. Probably come up here and try to blend this over with the negative rake scraper just to give it a little bit different look. It'll make these areas not so bulky. Okay, I don't want to take a chance on knocking that bark off, and that's not bad. So I think we're going to get set up and sand this up. Whew, it stayed together so far. Alright, time to get it sanded up and cleaned up. I'm going to clean the bark up with the Sandiflex 120 grit, and I'll do the inside. I'll start with a 2-inch disc, 80 grit, sand up through 400. I'll show you some of that, and we'll come back and we'll put a finish on here. Run the lathe forward at about 350. Well, I've got it all sanded up, and I think there's probably more bark than there was wood, so the sanding wasn't all that bad. And just looking this piece over, I think it really is going to look best with some shellac. So that's what we'll put on it. And I think I'll put it on the bark first, and I'm just going to dip this brush here in the sanding sealer. This is a shellac-based sanding sealer. That's going to drink it up pretty good. This piece has been drying for a long time. I'll just get this on here with a brush, and then I'll wipe it down with a rag. Alright, I know you can't see in there very well. It's pretty dark. There you go. I should have had that on to begin with. Even looks better to me. I'll take this little rag that I have here and just make sure it's nice and smooth, no drips or runs. Okay. I'm going to move the camera so you can see it go on the back side, because I want you to see these ends. They look pretty neat. So this end right there, that was fairly smooth just the way it was cut. But the opposite end was pretty rough, and I kind of left it that way. So that's had some cracks and stuff in there, but it's got quite the little texture to it. Get all the finish on, I'll come back, and it looks like we need to remove a tenon. So I'll see you when it's time to do that. Alright, one more step. I need to remove that tenon. I've got it up against a block in my chuck. I'm going to use a 1/2-inch bowl gouge. We're about 580 RPM. Probably been hearing some beeping going on. Well, Across the road, somebody has a backhoe in there and they're digging out the backyard, brought new dirt in, and I think what they want to do is to be able to grow grass. I'm going to slow it down a little bit, and we're going to try something slightly different. There, if you're wanting to do that and you don't want to cut it all the way through when it's spinning, I just stopped and I went like that and it cut it the rest of the way. I'll pull this back so you can see what that block looked like. And the nub just fell off. So that's all I had was some padding. So I'm going to sand this up here and I'll be right back and show you what it looks like. It is done and I think it's pretty cool looking. It's 9 inches this direction, 7 inches this way, it's 4 inches tall, and the base is 3.5 inches. So I really wanted to keep this looking like the elbow that it's looked like for the last 11 years, so I didn't turn anything around the perimeter on it. And leaving this bark this wide, I think it still looks a lot like it has for all those years, and I'm pretty happy with that. And the bark is really cool. But it also has some very pretty grain in it. Even these pith areas in there are pretty cool. And this side right here, it's hard to see, but right there, there's some chatoyance here. And there's some on that side if I can get it turned just right. But there definitely is some. Yes, I do have some wormholes in here. And I ended up filling those with coffee grounds and wood glue, and it really worked quite well. And the nice thing about it is it doesn't stain the wood like CA will. And the next time I do that, I'll definitely show you how that worked, because I was really surprised how well it worked. I finished it with 2 coats of Zinsser seal coat, 2 coats of Zinsser shellac, and it made a really nice finish on it. So yeah, I probably picked this thing up I don't know how many times, just didn't know what I wanted to do with it, but I'm sure glad the last time I picked it up I went ahead and turned it like this, and I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did like the video, do me a favor, click that like button and feel free to leave a comment. Both of those things will really help my channel grow. I do lots of different types of turnings and you never know what might be next, so be sure to subscribe if you want to see more. And a special thanks to all my current subscribers. You really mean a lot to me. So, till the next time, see you later.